So one of the things I wanted to talk about is the capability in Optionsmith to use AI by um, exporting your trade data in a format that any AI, GPT, or other agent can read and analyze. So on the analytics page, if I select the tag that I've been using for this particular strategy, and then I click on export data for AI, it will download this file. It puts the data for the trades in a JSON format, which is a format that is really good for representing complex data, especially for transferring data and putting it in a format that an AI can really read and analyze. So if you save that and then add it to, I'm doing ChatGPT right now, but you can use Grok or whatever your preferred AI tool is. You can add that file by selecting it and then type in a question like I said, please analyze the attached data from my broken wing butterfly 0 DTE trading and give me feedback on how to improve. And then you can get a really nice detailed layout of different things that you could try to improve this trading strategy and make it better. So anyhow, that's a nice little feature on Optionsmith. So I thought I'd talk about my trading for the day that I used Optionsmith for. So we started the day with the opening range breakout of these three candles. So I had this box charted out here, and then I watched, and I didn't really see a great breakout here with a reaction. It just kind of dropped back in. So I waited patiently and watched it kind of move up and down in here. There was this breakout out of the orb, but then I just didn't really see a great entry candle. This might have worked here, but there just wasn't anything that showed me there was momentum. This wick here kind of indicated that it just wasn't ready to go. And at this point, it had been just kind of staying here enough that I wanted to see even a break above this structure because I just wasn't getting the entry I wanted. After that, then it broke down through this structure and to the downside. And I saw this is actually what I look for sometimes is, you know, the three soldiers or however you want to define it, where you just see this increasing length of candles. Looked like there was momentum here. Normally I would have also waited for a pullback in a break back down, some sort of reaction. But I entered here. It was looking back possibly a little premature, but it was getting to be late in the day. By the time it gets to around 11 Central, getting close to noon, I feel like you're starting to run out of the premium that you would get in the broken wing butterfly, and that's the only thing I like to trade right now. So I became a little bit more aggressive. I entered here, and then it eventually came back. I thought it might go back down, but I ended up taking a loss on the trade at this point. I exited. I found a good thing to do is to watch my current open profit or loss and just know that my manual stop is like for this example $150. So see here, just to get an idea. Let's actually do this. Yeah, so this will give us a visual even though the trade is done. So if I go into present curve, I can watch where the point is where my stop loss will be reached. And I also have an alert system on Optionsmith, so I can set and say enable this, and then if it goes below and I would enter negative 150, then as long as I'm on this page, I'll get an alert as well. But I found that when you have a good stop point in mind, like a negative 150, it's better to just keep an eye on this and not get sucked into watching the price action, because when I do, I become more emotional, and there's a tendency to start looking at what it's doing and start hoping that it's actually turning around. And so you tend to actually stay in the trade too long sometimes when I'm watching the price action. Whereas just being mechanical and saying, okay, if this open P&L hits negative 150, I'm going to get out, and that's how I'm going to control risk. So I'm happy that I did that. I stuck to that and got out with minimal loss. And then at that point, I'm just thinking, okay, if I see a good entry for another trade, I will consider getting in, but this time I'm only going to risk $50. So it's kind of a more just aggressive risk management, because I don't want to go above negative 200 for the day. That's just kind of my day limit. So I was watching this and I got to around here, and I saw that this had just been bouncing off of this level right here, and this kind of engulfing candle. I decided, okay, well, I'm just going to get into another bearish broken wing butterfly, and if it goes above this and I get into negative 50 loss, then I'm just going to get out, and that'll be my day. I'll just take the negative 200 loss for the day. It's been a decent week, and I can be fine with that. So I got in there and I watched, and we just kind of kept bouncing along here. Here we were threatened a little bit, and it was actually getting a little bit close to taking that loss. And then I waited, and we got to around 2:15 p.m. Central, and I thought, okay, well, if it starts going back up here, the gamma risk was getting to be too much. And I talk about that, where if I'm in a bearish broken wing butterfly, and if the price keeps kind of toying around here and where I know I'm not going to take any loss, I'm willing to just wait throughout the last hour of trading and hope for a finish right somewhere in the middle here where I can get big profit. Well, it was starting to go over here, and I just, late in the day, there's always this chance that it's just going to pop up, you know, over where I'm going to end up with a big quick loss that's going over what I was okay with. And especially on a Friday, just to end the week, where you take a big gamma risk and suddenly you have like a negative 200 or negative 300 trade as your last trade. It's just not a great way to end your week. So I saw that the price moved up around here, and I didn't know if it was going to continue going, and I had a plus 75 on that second trade, and so that would cut my loss from the previous trade of the day in half, and that just seemed like a good bargain versus taking the high gamma risk toward the end of the day where I could really end up with like a sudden jump and end up with something like negative 400 or even worse for the day, which would have just been, I try to stay unemotional, but that would have just been you know, a difficult way to end the week, and I would have been thinking about it probably the rest of the weekend, and you know, try to be professional, try to not let it get to you, and think long term over um, the edge that I have for the strategy, and not focus on one day. But I'm still kind of early in proving the strategy, and so I don't quite have that full confidence in it yet. I should start to, because it's really looking like a very solid plan. But so I ended up getting out and being at about negative 70 for the day, which is fine. I mean, that's a good solid way to take a loss for the day and move on and just call that part of trading. So that's what I did, and we're still looking good for the strategy, and so that's it.